All right, let's keep reading, but we got to do it quietly. Baby, sleep beside me. John chapter 11. We gonna go. It's 4 days later now, as far as from what we last read. This is now 4 days later. Lazarus done died, but remember, Jesus already gave his word, and then he's waiting intentionally, so that because he loves them, he's waiting intentionally so that they can get something out of this that they need to get, because no good thing would he withhold from them. All right, so now it's 4 days later. We're going to go John chapter 11, starting at verse 20. Then Martha, now Jesus is now entering into, like he's closer now. He's about to get there, but it's been 4 days. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary sat still in the house. Now, when we're going through Martha and Mary, I want you to see there's different types of children. Now, both of these two are believers. And so I need you to see, as a believer, there's different types. First, we're going to go through Martha. Now, Martha heard Jesus was coming, ran out to meet him. Mary sat still. In other words, we're not going to get into it yet. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. That shows you right then and there, one, Martha did not listen or have fear and reverence for his word, because though Jesus wasn't there personally, he is the living word, and he already sent his word 4 days ago. And now, once again, since he knows they didn't have fear and reverence for the word, because he know when he sent the word that this is a shouting moment, this is a praise moment, and you're still worrying, so now I gotta wait. And now he's here, and now she's confirming the fact that you don't believe my word. Because now she's saying to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Not understanding that the words that she's saying are contradicting what he said. One, he already told you, this ain't going to end in death. Two, he already told you, this is all, my father's going to get some glory out of this. So, and now she's saying, if you had been here, he wouldn't have died. Isn't that so us? Praying against our Father's will, and yet we're praying to our Father. We're praying to him, and yet we're praying against his will. We're praying against what the words that he gave us, only because we don't really put faith in his words. We don't really take him at his word, because if you took him at his word, Martha, you would be still praising him right now instead of shouting at him in worry and in doubt. And then she says in verse 22, but I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Once again, Martha, you're telling me if I had been there, I could have saved him. But then you say, but you still believe even now, if I ask God, I can raise him. If you truly did believe that, meaning what you're saying out your mouth is not lining up to your actions, because if you truly did believe that, then you would know 4 days ago when I sent the word, you wouldn't have been worrying and crying this whole time. And so many of us, you're praying something that you truly don't believe, because if you really believed it, you wouldn't have that worry, you wouldn't have that doubt, and above all, you wouldn't have that underlying anger against your God. And let's be real, some of us, even as you're praying to God, even as you're running out to meet him, you're still running out angry. And no, you're not like them other Christians. You're not like Mary, who's so angry that you won't even run towards him. But let's be real, you're running towards him, but you're running towards him just as angry as Mary. The only difference is she's letting her anger keep her in her seat, and you are at least running towards your God angry, but you're not really running towards him with the anger. You're in other words, you're not casting your cares upon him because he cares for you. You're coming towards him, but you're still coming towards him with a distorted belief system. Because if you really believed who he was in his word, you wouldn't be coming at him still with these doubts, with these questions, when he already gave you a confirming word 4 days ago. But now I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. That's what she says out her mouth. But let's put that to the test. And Jesus saith unto her, thy brother shall rise again. What did she say to Jesus? I know that if you ask God, he'll do it. Jesus told her, okay, your brother will rise again. The same word he already gave you. This ain't going to end in death. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? In other words, Jesus says, okay, your brother shall live. And just like us, Martha said, well, I know he's going to live again in heaven. And if you're being real, that's what your prayers sound like too. God, I know it's going to get better, but it's only going to get better in heaven. Lord, I know that when I get to heaven, there's going to be no more tears. Lord, I know that when I get to heaven, there's going to be streets paved with gold, and no good thing am I going to lack. And yet Jesus is saying, I am heaven. I am the resurrection. Anything that you're waiting for me to do on the other side of heaven, I'm the one who's going to do it. So since I'm the one who's going to do it, why do you believe that I'm only able to do it on that side of heaven, as if I'm not God of heaven and earth? That's what Jesus is telling her. And then he ends it with, believest thou this? In other words, she says, I know he's going to be risen again in the resurrection. And then Jesus tells her, well, I am the resurrection. And so since you believe he's going to be risen again in the resurrection, why can't you believe that me, the living resurrection, the living word, can do whatever it is that I want to do right here in this moment on this earth? And you know, he was questioning her faith, because he ended it with, believest thou this? She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. Ain't that just like us? That ain't what Jesus asked you. Jesus said, do you believe I can raise your brother up? Jesus said, do you believe I can change your life overnight? Jesus is saying, do you believe that I can heal that relationship? Jesus is saying, do you believe I can take away that addiction? And us, we're praying back, well, Lord, I believe that there's a God. That ain't what I asked you. And if we're being honest, a lot of us are where Martha is. You believe that there's a God. You know without a doubt he's there. But you have a very hard time believing that he cares about you on this side of heaven. And so you walk around just believing that your best days aren't until you die. Not understanding that the living word says life and life more abundantly. And yet many Christians are just waiting to die. And when I say waiting to die, it doesn't mean you want to die. It means you're waiting to die to have that life more abundantly. And Jesus is saying to you, if you believe that I can do it in heaven, why can't you believe that the same God who made heaven made earth, and that I can do it to you on this earth? And so he's asking you, do you believe that I can do this? Do you believe that I can change your life in a moment? Do you believe that I can make you the head and not the tail? Do you believe that I can show you things that you ain't never seen before? And our response is, well, Lord, I believe that you're there. That ain't what he asked you. She said unto him, Yes, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The Master is come and calleth for thee. we're gonna end this video here, and we're gonna get into Mary. But I need you to see with Martha. Do you really take God at his word? Or do you just believe that he is God? Do you just believe that he's there? Do you just believe that heaven's going to be great? But you are yet to really believe that this great God who made heaven and did what he had to do to get you there, it isn't going to give you life and life more abundantly before you get there? I need you to start believing for God's best on this side of heaven. I need you to start taking God at his word today in your dead situation. Because the same God that you claim that you believe is there is the same God that's been speaking life and life more abundantly into your situation. And just like Martha, the word is going to come to pass regardless. But the route that we take depends on how well you take me at my word. The nerves, the anxiety that you're going to carry along this road depends on how well you can take me at my word. Because if you know that I'm there, but you don't believe that me being there makes the difference, then you just knowing that I'm there isn't enough to stop your depression. It isn't enough to get you to start praising during a dead situation. It isn't enough to really bring you that peace that surpasses all understanding. Are you praying to the God of heaven and forgetting that he's also God of the earth? Are you waiting for the resurrection, forgetting that the God who's going to do the resurrection is your God today, and you can come boldly into his throne of grace and ask for what you want? All right. We're going to get into Mary and the rest of the story after this. God bless. And we didn't wake the baby.